If any of the content I've been sharing with you may seem, I don't know, not fitting or inappropriate, well, I'm sorry, but it's all part of the story. If I left anything out, this story wouldn't be worth telling, now would it? That being said, there's still a road ahead of us to go down. So stay with me. I'm the Saipan Sailor, and welcome aboard. This is episode 5 of Fire in the Yukon. There's still... There were some injuries. One fella messed up his hand. I don't know what happened there. Another guy had a broken leg. They put splints on his leg before they lowered him into the lifeboat. But the two fellas that were on watch down below, are who I was thinking about. The unlicensed guy is part of our crew. And he told us when he joined the ship that this was his last trip. He was going to retire. He and his wife were going to do something, I don't remember what. And he just was making this trip to make some extra money before he put in for his retirement. His watch partner is the engineer. From what I understood, he was called out of retirement. I guess no one else wanted the job, and he took it, probably to make some extra money himself. He was a really old fella. He had Parkinson's, and his hands shook all the time. I remember watching him trying to make adjustments to the Bailey regulators, and his hand was shaking, and I couldn't watch. They both perished. And I thought about them as we landed at Midway Island. We got off the boat there, put us into a bus, and took us into the base, the Navy base. We got out of the bus and we were greeted by television cameras, reporters, investigative journalists, those kind of people. And I noticed that across the street from where the bus was parked, there was a Volkswagen van parked there with a couple of guys sitting in the front wearing headphones. Now, they weren't listening to music. They had a parabolic microphone, and they were listening to us. And the bosun was standing next to me, and I pointed over there and I said, "Watch what you say, Big Brother's watching us." So he told everybody, don't talk to the press, okay? Don't tell them anything. Well, they were hounding us anyway. Now, there was another fella there that greeted us. I think he was a naval officer. And he took control of the situation and said, all right, look, so the PX is open. Go on in there, get whatever you want. It's on us. They got clothes, cigarettes, whatever. And for those of you that are injured, you want to go to the infirmary, get back on a bus. They'll take you there right now. So I went to the PX. Got some blue jeans, change of clothes, and a few other things. And they took us someplace where we can take a shower and change clothes. And when everyone started to gather again, the guys came back from the infirmary. They put us all on that same C-130 plane that was circling overhead while we were in the lifeboat to take us back to Hawaii. And a couple of those journalists came with us too. So on the way back to Hawaii, these people from the press were interviewing some of the guys. I was never approached, and that was fine with me. I wasn't in any mood to talk to anyone anyway. I mean, we were tired, we were pissed. We got to Hawaii, got out of the plane, walked in a terminal, and were greeted by yet another fella who said he was from the company. And he told us that the Coast Guard wants to talk to all of us. Well, we expected that. And then he said that he has all of us booked at the Pagoda Resort in Waikiki, and that the restaurant is open 24 hours. We can dine there anytime we wanted. He said, as soon as we clear customs and immigration, they're going to put us on a bus, take us to the resort. Then the guy looked at me, and he pointed at me and he says, how would 4 hours overtime a day sound to you? And I started to say, well, I didn't work it. And he said, well, I didn't ask you that. I said, okay, fine, I'll take the 4 hours overtime. I'm not going to argue about that. So for the next couple of days, the Coast Guard was interviewing us down at the Coast Guard station. It was what they called a preliminary hearing. So when it was my turn, went in a room, sat down, and I noticed there was a guy from the union there. I said, what are you doing here? He said, well, they let me sit in and listen. I thought, okay, as long as you're just there to listen, And I knew what they wanted. They want to know what happened, what did I see, and I told them just what I told you in episode 3. When they got to the part where I walked outside and I seen all this debris all over the place, that's when they stopped me and they said, can you describe what the debris looked like? I said, well, there were strips of metal on the stairs that I had to kick out of the way or step over, but everything else, I don't know, I just wanted to get away from there, They said, okay, we understand, but these strips of metal, can you describe them? I said, well, they were maybe, I don't know, 2 feet long, maybe 3 or 4 inches wide, kind of hard to tell. And they said, you think that they may have been louvers from a ventilation damper? I said, it could very well have been. And they said, okay, we think you know enough. We would like you to stay here in Hawaii and attend a formal hearing. We will pay you $100 per diem every day you're here. So I went back to the hotel and waited for the call, waited for my turn to go to the formal hearing. That call came 10 days later. But during that 10 days, I proceeded to, how would I put this, inebriate myself in any way feasible, whether it was booze, women, or whatever else I can get my hands on. So when the call came, I had to sober up real quick. They took me down to where this hearing was being held, and it was a conference room with a conference table. And before I walked in the room, I was greeted by a gentleman from the National Transportation Safety Board. And he briefed me on what was going to happen during the hearing. And I remember him saying, you know, they're going to ask you some tough questions. I thought, well, bring it, you know. You're going to hear about that in the next episode. For now, I'm the Saipan Sailor, and I wish you all clear skies and calm seas.